MegaETH raise details revealed and how you could enter with pre-market currently trading at a 5x return, free token airdrops you can claim today, and what's going on in the world of NFTs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Crypto Gorilla video. As usual, I am not a financial advisor. Let's get this video to 100 likes. If you can hit that like button, it's free to do. And let's jump right into today's video. Starting off with the MegaETH raise, which is taking place on Monday, October 27th. Now, if you have no idea what MegaETH is, not to worry, hit the subscribe button because I will be dropping a explainer video on MegaETH as a blockchain, so more on the educational side. However, I wanted to keep these two videos separate because this is more about the raise, which is like a one-time event. And let's face it, a lot of people watching this are probably just wondering, how do I make money off of this thing? So if you're interested in the educational side, hit the subscribe button and it will be my next video. Now, as for the raise, it is going to be taking place on Echo, who just got bought out by Coinbase for $375 million. And that's really cool because, in my opinion, MegaETH being the first raise, it seems very likely that they're going to get a day one listing on Coinbase. If you want to enter the raise on Echo, yes, you are going to have to KYC and dox your wallet. It is what it is. There is no way around this. So that registration period is ending on October 27th, the same day as the raise. So I would not put this off to the last second if you are interested, because anything could happen and then you won't be able to enter it. So personally, I have doxed my wallet. It's already doxed anyways, and I did register because I do plan on sending. Now, since my last video, a ton of information has been released as well as revealed in a white paper that somebody found on their website. So let's go through all of that because there's a lot of details to go through here. Now, the first thing I want to focus on are the key dates because everybody's become bullish. Like, the amount of people KYCing their little cousin for their wallet is very high. Like, everybody's super bullish. They want to max send, which I don't think is a bad strategy, especially when you look at XPL. If you did the investment for XPL, everybody just got airdropped thousands of dollars on top. Even if you invested $20, you got airdropped like at the highs, I think it was $9,000. So it's not bad to enter this if you're actually bullish on it. But I think too many people feel the token is dropping in the next week or two when it's actually going to be months before we actually get the tokens from our investment. So let's go through the key dates first, all of which I got either on the website or the white paper. I'm going to show you everything, but the first date, of course, is the registration, closes on October 27th. Then it's the raise. So when you give them your money, this is happening on October 27th until the 30th, so 3 days. And no, you do not need to pump gas and be first one in order to increase your allocation. We're going to go through how you can get a bigger allocation. But as you can see here, one of the co-founders says, everybody has 3 days to bid. It doesn't matter if you're first or last. If you bid, you're going to be considered based on the metrics that they're looking at. After that, they are going to take up to 5 days to decide who is going to be accepted if it's over allocated, because not everybody's going to be able to get anything. Some people are going to get zero, but then there's also going to be different amounts. So they're going to either increase or reduce those. After that, the refunds are going to begin as of November 5th, but I think it takes up to 48 hours. And this is going to be a manual claim. So it's not going to be airdropped to your wallet. If you invested money, you're going to have to go and get your money. So don't forget which wallet you used. If you were accepted, you will have until November 19th to say, hey, I no longer want to invest in this. Give me a refund, in which case the refunds, I believe, are going to begin on November 21st. Then, according to the white paper, mainnet is supposed to be dropping in December of this year, and we aren't getting TGE until January 26th. And there's multiple places where I grabbed this date. The first place is here where they mention TGE. They say it takes a minimum of 40 days post-sale. I'm assuming this includes all the refunds. So as of November 21st, when people start manually claiming if they don't want to invest anymore, 40 days after that is going to be January 1st. However, there is no concrete date in this document. So here they say TGE in January 2026. So approximately 3 months where you aren't going to have access to your funds or your tokens. They're going to be locked into this sale. So something you need to very seriously consider, especially if you're considering going heavy. As for the terms of this raise, if you are accepted, the minimum amount that you have to put in is $2,650, which is the same amount that we spent on Fluffles, but at a different FDV. And the maximum amount per person is $186,282. I do not expect many people to get this. In fact, I think a majority of people are probably not going to get anything, just due to the amount of people who are going to enter this. But anyways, this raise is going to start at 1 mil FDV. I don't think it's not happening, right? It's probably going to 1 bill FDV, which is the higher end of this, just based on the hype on the timeline. And this is actually their 4th raise. So if we look at the first raise here in June of 2024, they did a private raise, a seed round for $20 million led by Dragonfly Capital, which attracted the likes of Vitalik, who he's actually the idea behind MegaETH in like a paper that he wrote. And then Joseph Lubin, the co-founder and current CEO of Consensus, the team behind MetaMask and Linea. Then they did a second raise on Echo, the same platform, for 220 million FDV. The tickets were $3,700. And there's this really cool website. If you did that round, you can check how much it's worth. We'll check that in a second. After that, we had the Fluffle raise, which is a soulbound NFT. However, fun fact, it seems like they have it on their roadmap that eventually these will not be soulbound and you'll just be able to trade them. Not that I would ever sell my Fluffle. But again, if you did the Fluffle round, we have this calculator at the current FDV. And then finally, we have the round that's happening on Monday. Let's just put 2,650, the minimum round. And I'm getting the current FDV from Hyperliquid because the pre-market perps, so you could long and short and get liquidated, right? Get wrecked, are currently live on Hyperliquid. It is at a 4.8 billion FDV. So for the Echo round, which if it goes to the top end, which I'm just assuming it is, that's going to be a 4.8x return on your money. So if you put 2,650, the base amount, that's $12,620. If you get the top amount, which is near impossible, that would be, 186,000 becomes 887,000. Amazing returns. If you did the Fluffle like I did, let's just close this, your $2,650, because it's almost half the FDV at 550 mil, is worth $23,000. That is amazing. I am very happy at the moment, at least, with my Fluffles investment. Now, the downside here is, again, the TGE isn't happening until minimum January. So one, we don't know what the sentiment of the market is going to be like in January. Maybe it's World War III, and markets went to zero, or Satoshi came back or something. And then the other thing is we don't know what these sentiments are going to be around MegaETH. Right now, everybody is mega bullish, myself included, but 3 months is a very long time in crypto. So keep that in mind if you are investing or if considering investing into this. I will link this website down below. Really cool. You could check different FDVs built by Ultra. Great tools. Definitely worth checking out. Now, the next thing I want to talk about are the lockup periods, because for Fluffles, I remember it was a 50% unlock on day one, and then 6 months of vesting where you could increase that vest or decrease the vesting time, I guess, based on your on-chain activity. However, in the white paper, if we look up the unlocks, here they say 100% is going to be unlocked at TGE, which I find this amazing. This is exactly what I want. Unfortunately, if you're from the United States of America, you have a mandatory 1-year cliff. So you don't get your money for 1 year. The bonus here is you get a 10% discount. Personally, that's not enough for me to opt into this because I'm also able to opt in. However, the other thing I'm thinking here is there's going to be this bonus campaign because there was supposed to be a second Fluffle sale because the total supply was supposed to be 10K. Right now it's only 5K. They raised 5,000 ETH 8 months ago, and there was 5K left. Now they're no longer doing that sale, but they are going to be doing a bonus campaign where you can actually double up on your investment. So right here in the white paper, they say that you are able to double up a 2x on your original allocation up to 100% token bonus if you invested. So it seems like if you invested in any of the 3 rounds and only 5,000 people are going to be able to achieve this, because they are going to have a leaderboard, and it does seem like it's going to be based on your network activity. So maybe a little bit of testnet, but they're going to launch a campaign in December for 30 days once mainnet goes live. And, this is a good way to encourage people to bridge over to MegaETH, to provide liquidity, to use different apps, and so on, in which case you can get free money, right? You can double up your investment. So I really like this. I'm going to be doing it. And I'm also really happy that the Fluffle supply was just cut in half, because if there's any airdrops for other stuff, now they can give us a bigger allocation. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before moving on is who is going to get chosen if the sale is over allocated. And they do give us some hints here. So there's a few different things they're going to be looking at. One big thing, they're going to be looking at your wallet history, both on the testnet of MegaETH, but also your Ethereum activity, right? What apps did you use? How early were you to them? And so on. How did you play with DeFi and all that? They're also going to look at your NFT holdings. So what MegaETH NFTs do you have? Bad Buns, Megalios, Meganachi, I guess on testnet. And then the Fluffle, if you minted those, that's probably going to be the main one, but also things on ETH like CryptoPunks, Fidenzas, Hypers, Pudgy Penguins, and so on. Yes, the snapshot for all of these was already taken, so no point in going to buy one, just to increase your odds here. And then the other thing that they're going to look at is how much of a supporter were you of MegaETH before this week, right? Because everybody's bullish now, but over the past 1 year, how supportive were you? And for this, they're using the Kaido leaderboard, which your boy is number 14th in the last 3 months, a little lower for like 12 months. I think I'm up to 35th, but still top 50, come on. And I have a Fluffle. I really hope this helps me and I get a bigger allocation. Like I said, I do plan to send here. Please do not just send because I'm sending. Like, it's a 3-month lockup, This is something you really need to consider for yourself. But I've been bullish on this for a long time, so I'm looking to increase my exposure on top of the Fluffle investment that I did. But moving on to other token stuff, we have Trump pardoning CZ, which here he says, it's, the previous administration just went after him. He wasn't guilty. Some sus stuff happened recently, but it's good for BNB. The BNB meta and meme coins have been popping off. And what perfect timing, because Axiom just went live with BNB trading on their platform. So I will have a referral link with my code for trading BNB on Axiom in the description down below. Helps me out a lot when you guys use my links. No worries if not. I will have a tutorial next week on how to trade BNB coins using Axiom. But enough of me shilling my referral codes. Let's take a look at some airdrops. The first of which is Apriori. Personally, I had never heard of this. There is an airdrop. The reason I saw this is because they are giving an allocation to Mad Lads and Moonbirds holders. I'm taking this with a grain of salt. If you go through the comments, everybody's dunking on them, right? Everybody just seems really upset here, showing that they have 0. So I don't know how well this is going to play out, but I'm waiting because they do say if you claim early, you get a small portion. Maybe that's a 0 everybody's seeing. But if you claim later after Monad mainnet, you get a larger portion. So we all know that Monad is launching in like 5 days now. So make sure you go check on Monad because you have to claim before November 23rd. You are not claiming an airdrop technically because it's not live yet, but you are claiming the fact that they're going to airdrop it to you. It's really weird, but you're claiming it in advance. They're going to give you a level. I'm currently mid, which I'll show you how you can check what this means in just a second. But in my last video, I did not mention, scroll down and click the button that's here, and it's going to give you a spot. If they tell people you don't get your airdrop because you didn't click this button, that would be a rug. Okay, that would be not cool. So make sure you hit that button. It's happening in 4 days by the time you watch this video. But the link I wanted to show you guys is there's these levels here based on, within your tier, within this tier, there are mini tiers that they have, and there's a way to check this. So what you do is you open the Monad page, you connect your wallet and all that, and then you go to this API link that I'm going to link in the description down below, and it should automatically load this info for you, and you are looking for your strength of your wallet. So this strength level is going to determine the size of, or how many people are in your category. Here they're giving numbers of, what your airdrop's going to be. I'm taking these with a grain of salt. Like, it's currently trading, it's doing well, 7.5 billion on the pre-market, but I'm just going to wait and see what happens. Hopefully it does well because I do have an allocation. If not, send it to 0. No, I'm just kidding. Now, the next one that we can send to 0 because I do not have an allocation, just joking, is the Meteora token. This just went live yesterday, currently trading at a 580 mil FDV. So I will link this down below if you want to check if you have an allocation for it. It's also trading on OpenSea. So if you're farming OpenSea with tokens, which I don't think you should do, you should do legit swaps, not just farm because you're just paying fees. But if you want to do it, it is available on OpenSea. Now, moving on to NFTs, there is another soulbound token available for Moonbird holders. You are going to have to link a Solana wallet where you claim it, as well as your ETH wallet, and you're able to claim one-to-one. So if you have a Moonbirds, if you have Mythics, or if you have oddities, or if you have multiple, you are able to claim multiple. This goes on for 1 month. I'm trying to claim as many as possible. I saw there's already 6. Unfortunately, I only have 2, even though I hold a lot, or I've held Moonbirds for a while. I just missed these. But I'm wondering if they do something like Pudgy Penguins did, where their soulbound coins, gave you thousands of dollars of free token airdrops. The other thing they might do is maybe this is just a booster, or it's just a way to prove how long you held other than taking a snapshot. So links to all that in the description down below. After that, in actual NFTs, the Neuko project that I put in my whitelist video the other day, I will link that above if you want to go watch that. They did the airdrops for their first 2 phases. So they have the rabbits, they have the moths, and soon they have the snakes that are coming out. However, they airdrop these for absolutely free. They were higher when they first came out, so they were trading for a lot more. Currently, the moths are trading for 4.5 SOL, and the rabbits are trading for 9.9. So 10 SOL, absolutely free. $1,900 or whatever Solana's at for absolutely free. And then the next airdrop phase, like I said, is going to be the snakes for free money. It's probably going to trade at like 1 or 2 SOL, right? It always trades less than the previous one, especially since the supply is going to be higher at 835. And in order to get this, you have to engage with their content. You have to create content about the G-Boy character. So go watch my previous video. I explained it all. And good luck getting a DM to get a free airdrop. It's hundreds of dollars airdrop to your wallet for free, even thousands if you manage to get the first 2 rounds. As for a paid mint this week, we had the Cambria Islands go live, which this was a 0.1 ETH mint on the expensive side, but I had no doubt that it was going to sell out. It did. It managed to pull a 2x, so 0.2 at the top. There's a 5% fee, so that's pretty hefty, but still a 2x at the top. But this one did mint out really fast. I thought it was a guaranteed round. Unfortunately, it wasn't. They did tweet out that if you had the priority phase, not a guaranteed phase, priority phase, and you weren't able to mint, they are going to be setting up a claim where you could mint it for 0.1. This worries me because, what's the new supply going to be? Are they using their treasury, or are they just upping the supply? Hopefully treasury and not upping the supply, because people are just going to mint it until it's no longer profitable, right? They're going to mint it, dump it, and then it's no longer profitable, and they're increasing the supply. Like, it just sucks for minters. You're either pissing off the people who didn't get to mint, who are already mad, or you're pissing off the people who minted, and now the floor just nukes, right? So it's a tough, it's a lose-lose situation, but it is what it is. But our final story of the day is around tokenworks. Their latest NFT strategy coin launched today. It was completely random. Like, they switched up the times. They are making it more like stealth launches. It was the Good Luck Have Funners, which is the prequel collection to the Gigaverse on Abstract. Now, it's doing really well, as all of them do on the first day. We did see a sweep here, but that's normal. That's the treasury wallet. They have money from auctions because they sell some of their rares or their honoraries for, 10 ETH plus. Then they use that money to sweep the floor and burn them. So they came in and swept like they normally do. But then a huge candle, once they announced, it dumps like it always does. If we look at, Chimpers, it did the same thing, pump dump, and then slowly recovered. Same thing on Good Vibes Club. And now it is back up. Now, I tweeted last week, got a lot of haters for it, but too bad. Coming from a NFT trader perspective, this narrative is kind of dead. As you can see, like on the day of, if you catch the pump, amazing. Then it dumps. This has been a good area to buy on that initial dump, and then it slowly grinds up because there's money in the treasury for them to go and buy the NFTs, right? There's buy pressure. In my opinion, not enough to actually make a long lasting impact, but it's never going to be perfect, right? Anyways, so this did well. Happy for Good Luck Have Funners. They did seem to add some stuff here to make it exciting towards the tokenworks stuff. You know, just like Good Vibes Club, they made it their official coin. They have the badges for chimpers. They did some stuff too. It's not like the official ecosystem coin, but they have a lot of stuff that they're doing with the coin. So I love to see it, but to me, this narrative is just dead outside of a pump and dump. As a trader, again, nothing against these collections. I love these collections, okay? I'm tight with the Gigaverse team. You know, I have no, like, the Good Vibes Club, I don't have any affinity to, but it's cool. Like, they are the collection that did the best this cycle. And then the Chimpers team, like, I'm a Chimpers OG. I minted. I still hold my mint. You know, I gave them a lot of exposure. And so a lot of people were mad, like, at my tweet, but, like, too bad. I'm talking as a trader. Like, you could be both a collector and a lover of NFTs and a trader. Like, people need to get over it. It makes no sense to me that they'll nuke a meme coin, but because it has a monkey picture on it, like, they get super upset. But yeah, this narrative I just find boring now. I haven't really been following it for the tokenworks stuff. So if you catch it, like, I still have notifications on. I just missed it. If you catch it and you get a nice pump and dump, great. You know, you made some profit. If not, I don't know. It's gotten boring. Personally, I think these coins, like, most of them, unless the teams like the three that we just saw are doing something cool with the coins, most of these are just going to be forgotten. Like, I would rather see the money go into the NFT collection than here. My personal preference. But with that being said, that is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, my next video will be explaining MegaETH, the blockchain, the ecosystem, what apps I'm excited about. If that's the kind of thing you're into, would you kindly hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification. Thank you for watching another Crypto Gorilla video. Peace.